Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to Hayes Gym on the campus of North Greenville University for today's contest between the Mount Olive Trojans and your North Greenville Crusaders. At this time, we ask that you please rise for the invocation and remain standing as we honor America with the singing of our national anthem. Dear Lord, you have created us to strive for the best. Grant to all athletes, coaches, and fans strength to pursue excellence during this event. We pray for the safety of these athletes. Protect them from injury and harm. Finally, we pray for your grace, that you would provide us with the endurance to pursue our heavenly prize, eternal life in your Son. Amen. Introduce tonight's starting lineups. First, for the visiting Trojans. At left, number 5, Josh Donahue. Next, number 8, Alex Alamander. Number 9, Jeff Yasalamas. Number 11, Andrew Sidow. Number 12, Robert Poole. Number 14, Brett Rutledge. And number 23, Kean Helligiot. The Trojans are coached by David Heller. He is assisted by Jennifer Charles. And now, starting lineups for your North Greenville Crusaders. First, at center, a 6'1" junior from Orlando, Florida. Number 5, Alexander Shinzing. At outside, a 6'4" sophomore from Richmond, Virginia. Number 9, Grayson Lawrence. At outside, a 6'5" sophomore from Rock Hill, South Carolina. Number 11, Kyle Brant. At opposite, a 6'5" sophomore from Carluke, Scotland. Number 12, Aaron Campbell. At middle, a 6'7" freshman from Wheaton, Illinois. Number 13, Ben Hampshire. And at middle, a 6'7" junior from Mount Vernon, Ohio. Number 15, Matthew McManaman. The Crusaders are coached by Fred Battenfield. And at libero, 5'10", junior from Haines City, Florida. Number 2, Dustin King. The Crusaders are coached by Fred Battenfield in his 3rd season here at North Greenville University. And he's assisted by Amber Shinzing.
Welcome everyone back inside Hayes Gymnasium for tonight's matchup in men's volleyball conference game as Mount Olive makes the trip down to Tigerville, South Carolina to take on the homestanding North Greenville University Crusaders. Gray Sutherland here with Dave Parson as North Greenville 7-13 overall, 6-6 within the conference. Takes on the top tier Trojans from Mount Olive, 14-6 overall, 12-1 in conference. As the conference title looks to be decided between King and Mount Olive. Dave, this is a tough Trojan squad in here tonight.
Yes, sir, it is, and we've seen them once before on a 3-1 loss. I believe that we mentioned the last time, and we'll mention it again today. I think the roster only shows 2 players on Mount Olive Trojans squad under 6 foot tall. These boys are tall, and they can jump, and they can slam that ball hard on the kill.
Conference standing shows Mount Olive is a game ahead of King And King themselves is a game ahead of Barton. And then it's a few more games back down to Limestone in 4th. North Greenville sits 5th, but only a game ahead of Lee's McRae. North Greenville in the hunt to try and get a host seed for the conference playoffs. And we've got right around a full month, if that, left to go in the season.
And for North Greenville, I believe the rest of their games are now all going to be conference games right until the tournament.
And so it's definitely go time if you're North Greenville now. Mount Olive, you just got to keep doing what you've been doing and look to sew up the conference title. Just about ready to get underway. Number 9, Jeff Yasalonis will start us off with the first serve. And we begin with a service error. 1-0 North Greenville leads, as now Aaron Campbell back to serve, number 12. There we'll have our first rally. Short tapper over, gets down by number 11, Andrew Sideout, 6'6" senior from Midlothian, Virginia. Robert Poole will serve from the far corner. Dustin King gets to it, and North Greenville can't get it over. Shinzing falling down, tried to rally it to Grayson Lawrence. Not enough mustard on that one to get it over. Poole, his second straight serve, and high and out. Trojans struggling early with service errors. Something we've noted a lot for North Greenville. They have been unable to keep their error count low. Kyle Brandt will serve for North Greenville. Here comes a set by Yesalonis off the near post. Brett Rutledge gets it to go.
And Gray, the Trojans definitely have come in here ready to play. They're hitting it long and hitting it hard.
And all 3 of their points have been to 3 different hitters, doing a good job of spreading it around early, as here comes Grayson Lawrence. He gets it down right in front of Robert Poole. Good use of a decoy there by Matthew McManaway. We'll have to see as this game progresses on if Mount Olive, probably they've done their homework against Matthew McManaway. Down the middle, and a kill for number 8, Alex Palmatier. Trojans lead 4-3.
Still early in the match, but looking for that first volley and come back and forth now, try to get something set up.
Rutledge will go back to serve. Jump serve to Dustin King. Shinzing sets up Hamshow, who's blocked. Number 8, Palmatier again, jumps up for the block. It's Rutledge, second straight serve to Brandt. Shinzing will set up near post. Lawrence, cross court, recovered by number 5, libero tonight for Mount Olive, Josh Donahue, and a double hit called early against Mount Olive.
I think he knew it too. He had that look on his face like, uh-oh, they caught me.
5-4, Trojans still lead here with Shinzing on to serve for NGU. Gets it in play. Yasalonis will set up near post, and Rutledge bounces it off the block of Hamshow.
North Greenville blockers are about a foot off the net. I think coach is going to have to tell them to move up just about a half a foot because they're allowing too much room there, that ball falling right through.
Number 23, Kian Holovowicz serves short into the net.
Oh, and that's a sign right there. That's the 3rd service error now for the Trojans. We've watched those all season long on both sides. 3 errors to 1 ace.
Grayson Lawrence, high serve. Trims the net, but gets it in. Mount Olive will go far post. And Robert Poole with the kill. And now Palmatier back to serve. Listed as a middle, it's a middle hitter. As there's a point for North Greenville. Kyle Brandt getting it off the initial block.
early in the game, but only the second point earned by the Crusaders. The others have been given to them.
Short serve by Hamshow. Mount Olive juggled it a little bit, but not a problem for them. Robert Poole from the far post, cross court, gets it down. Palmatier serves in. Brandt will go to Shenzing. Here's the far post. Campbell, dug by Yasalonis. Mount Olive gets it over. Holovoet. Here comes Shenzing. McManaway spun it off the top of his hand. Mount Olive back on the attack. Short tapper from Poole doesn't fall. Here comes Brandt over the block, but again, Yasalonis right there. And some strong finish from Robert Poole off the block. And Mount Olive takes a 3-point lead, 9-6.
Yeah, first good volley we've seen now. That was a good one.
And Mount Olive with a couple of nice defensive digs from the setter, Jeff Yasalonis. Brandt handles a serve. Shenzing will set up for Campbell. Gets it over the block, but hits it past the back line. Serve in from the Trojans. McManaway couldn't get the tapper to go. And North Greenville trying to rally back off the Mount Olive block. Hits it out off the far side. Trojans on a run, and head coach for North Greenville, Fred Battenfield, can see that. He'll take his first time out of this set. That'll leave the Crusaders with one.
Yeah, look on the bright side for the Crusaders now. No service errors and unfortunately no aces, but the service errors are well under control. That's something they've had to work on most of this season.
And in the past, the first two seasons, this North Greenville men's volleyball team has been in existence and competed. They've struggled toward the end of the season. It's going to be interesting to see how if they can rally back, because they struggled to start the season. But if you go and look at the schedule, they played Sacred Heart, Princeton, and the New Jersey Institute of Technology. Those are some pretty rough teams up there in the Northeast. So could this be the year where the polls have reversed and North Greenville finishes strong?
Yeah, let's hope for the Crusaders that it is that way. Once again, welcome in on the North Greenville Sports Network, Friday, March the 24th, 2017. We're glad you're with us tonight.
Mount Olive leads the regular season for the Conference Carolinas. The Trojans struggling with the service errors early.
That would be recorded error 4.
Campbell will be back to serve. Gets it down. Rally by Yasalonis, far post. And off McManaway. Number 14, Brett Rutledge with the point. Four different Trojans have scored kills so far. We'll approach the halfway point of the first set. And an ace for Mount Olive. Dustin King reached out for it after it hit the far post and then came back in. It's the right decision. Just a little late on the jump. Oh boy, Poole hit that one a ton, but it was out of the back line. Service error.
Yeah, I wonder what's going through this Mount Olive squad tonight. They played a really good game the last time they were down here, but boy, tonight they're getting a lot of errors.
Brandt on the serve for NGU. Mount Olive with the tapper off the block, and it will fall. Rutledge hit it off, I believe that was Lawrence's hands. And McManaway couldn't get around Lawrence in time, and of course Lawrence can't hit it again. Serve from Andrew Seidow. Shenzing sets up McManaway. Again, Yasalonis waiting right there for it. Here comes Poole, and he hits it out.
Mount Olive questioning the call, but the referee stands firm.
Good break for the Crusaders. They'll take the serve back, down 5. McManaway on the serve. Gets it over the net. Here comes Mount Olive off the block. McManaway recovers. Shinzing will set. Lawrence blocked. Another great recovery. Lawrence and McManaway. Campbell hits it over. Set up near post, off the block, and it's going to get down Rutledge again. Rutledge back to serve. Kyle Brandt recovers. Shinzing will set up Hamshow, and Hamshow gets it down.
Yeah, give a shout to the Crusaders now. They're not letting Mount Olive run off with this. 15-10. They're still in it. We're only about halfway in the first set now.
Shinzing on the serve, line drive, and it's in for an ace.
Wow, that must have been close to that line because the player watched it go by and the referee watched it right in the box.
Shinzing do a repeat. Nope, misses the line that time. (16-11) in favor of Mount Olive. They have the serve as well. Kian Holavoet back to serve. A bit of a longer serve, but gets it in. Hamshow, a one-handed save by Holavoet. Everybody's got to scramble out of the way, but nobody's going to be able to reach that one for the Trojans.
Just a reminder too that 5 of the 12 Crusader points now have come on service errors, so those are free points that Mount Olive has given away.
Lawrence to serve, and it takes a weird spin off Holavoet with an ace. And that one caught too much of the right arm.
Yeah, that would be North Greenville's second ace now of the game.
Back to serve again. Holavoet reaches up for this one, goes to the joust at the net, recovered by Yasalonis. Here comes Poole, cross court. Brandt reaches up for it. King hits it back. Lawrence will tap it over. Yasalonis with the no-look tip over. Behind the back, gets it to go in the corner.
That was a better play than what you probably saw on your video. He definitely fooled the entire Crusader squad.
That was still a pretty shot. 17-13 Mount Olive leads. Here comes Campbell off the block. Yasalonis will set up for Poole. Short tapper, gets it to go.
That was a bad play either. Mount Olive knew that 2 of the 6 players was going to be jumping at the net, which opened the floor up for those zones between the other 4 players.
Now, Mount Olive's got North Greenville guessing right now. Palmatier on the serve. Brandt. Shinzing will set up down the middle. Hamshow blocked. What a recovery by Brandt. Here comes Campbell over the block. That one dug by Rutledge. Somebody's got to tap it over. Holavoet does. North Greenville scrambles. Hamshow hits it high and out. 19-13 Mount Olive leads. And North Greenville will take their final timeout for the set. North Greenville running out of time to turn it around. Down 6.
Just a reminder that Mount Olive won the last match 3-1. North Greenville in danger of losing this first set already.
Also worth mentioning, North Greenville baseball is at Mount Olive tonight. Game in progress, last check. Mount Olive was leading 1-0.
Another note of interest too for the Crusaders, McManaway with no kills yet. That's uncharacteristic for Matthew McManaway.
Mount Olive closing in on the first set. And Alex Palmatier back to serve. Kyle Brandt recovers. Shinzing will go back to Brandt. Dug by Poole. Yasalonis went for the kill and got blocked. Yasalonis trying to put a number on the stack, in the stack column for a kill. Actually, he has one. He's trying to get a second. North Greenville's able to block him. McManaway at the net gets it down.
Yeah, Matthew McManaway showing up now. For those of you watching in Mount Vernon, Ohio, welcome. We hope that McManaway gives you a great show tonight.
I don't think Hamshow could have gotten that last serve any lower to give McManaway the chance. Here comes Poole. Line drive to Hamshow on the dig. Shinzing goes to Brandt, and he's blocked, and he ran into the net. Well, the point should go to Mount Olive anyway, but I'm not sure if they're going to call a attack error against Brandt. That is a 9. That is Yasalonis on the serve. Here comes McManaway, tugged by Yasalonis, who's been in McManaway's way the whole first set. Here's Campbell, blocked. King recovers to Brandt. Donahue got that one. Here comes Poole. And that's a good block. McManaway and Brandt. North Greenville's finally started keying in on Poole, and they're not going to let him have that.
Crusaders,
so easy.
yeah, Crusaders trying to put together a mini run now.
2016, North Greenville's back with them 4. Campbell on to serve. Yasalonis sets up far post. Off the block, out of bounds. Brett Rutledge gets it in for the Trojans. Poole on to serve. Brandt spins it forward to Shinzing. McManaway, not enough to get it over the net.
They had the right idea, just not enough on that one.
He had the blockers fooled, and he's got the height. Shinzing about 4 inches too far in front of him. Poole on to serve again. Boy, Lawrence reached out for it. King hits it in, and Lawrence just misses the far sideline. That would have been a great play had they managed to be able to get it more to the left.
Yeah, that one was way back past the baseline.
That one caught a piece of the
old roof.
Yeah, the scaffolding for the basketball goal. Shinzing trying to go for the tapper and runs into the net. Likely get called for an attack error, and Mount Olive will be at set point, 24-16. Poole on to serve. Lawrence, Shinzing sets up. Here comes Brandt on the run. Tugged by Yasalonis. Set by the libero, blocked, and a point North Greenville. McManaway again.
Yeah, I'm going to give a call out to Shinzing on that one. He actually was near us on the near side with the first part of that volley, and then he went clear over to the far side and was right there to help the block. So he put some effort into that one. Give a shout out to Shinzing that time.
You got to be mobile.
Yes, and he was that time.
Kyle Brandt will try and keep the rally alive for NGU. Here comes the Trojans. And they'll finish it off with side out right down the middle. Trojans take the first set, 25-17. So a good start for the Trojans. And all but 4 Trojans who have seen playing time on the floor have recorded at least 1 kill. North Greenville down a set early. See if the Crusaders can rally back in the second set coming up here on the North Greenville Sports Network.
And welcome back to Hayes Gymnasium. Men's volleyball here on the North Greenville Sports Network. I am Dave Parson, along with our play-by-play man, Gray Sutherland. Reminder that tomorrow, weather permitting, we're going to be bringing you a doubleheader in softball. Lady Crusaders will be taking on Limestone over at Jan McDonald Field. And if the rain holds off for us long enough, we'll bring you that action.
It's going to be an important series no matter when it gets played for North Greenville. Should it be tomorrow or at a later date. Limestone, a perennial powerhouse, also in the conference for softball, as many sports. North Greenville's been on a little bit of a run in softball. Speaking of runs, the men's volleyball team's going to have to put one together here. So far, so good. Good rally there. Dustin King with some help from Lawrence. Scrambles back into position. Big time block there, but doesn't get it in the corner. Mount Olive takes the first point.
Yeah, that Monster Energy drink will do it till you hit that ball hard on that block.
Mount Olive with the serve. Yesalonis with his team up one. Here comes Campbell trying to tie it. Bounces around in the rafters. Trojans are able to recover. Lawrence hits it. Shenzing will set. Campbell near post. And again, great block at the net by the Trojans. Here they come. King with a diving save. Set up far post, Brandt. Another dig by Josh Donahue. Quick shot taken by Seidel. Nothing doing there. Here comes Brandt, and he gets it in.
Yeah, the best volley of the night. Give the point to North Greenville. Good recovery. They had one there that I didn't think they were going to get to, but he pulled it back in, and they got it back over the net for that volley.
Grayson Lawrence right there in the near corner. He laid out for it. Tied up at one. Here come the Trojans off the near post. Shenzing on backup. Set up for Brandt. Too short on the hit.
Yeah, get him another Gatorade. No more energy on that one.
Poole will be back to serve for the Mount Olive Trojans. Goes to Brandt. Shenzing to set up, looking to make man away. Donahue with the dig. Poole gets a shot, bounces it off Campbell. Brandt one-hands it over. Trojans on the attack again. Brandt with the stop. McManaway with a set to Brandt, blocked. And it just barely caught a piece of Brandt's right shoulder to make it a Trojan point. Couldn't get out of the way in time. Trojans with a 3-1 lead. Brings on the attack with Campbell. Wow, a lot of heat under that one, and it goes over the wrong side of the pole. North Greenville takes the point. Campbell strikes back. North Greenville's within one. Speaking of Campbell, he's on the serve for NGU. Mount Olive on the attack, though. Early whistle, point North Greenville. Double hit called against Mount Olive. Campbell again on the serve. Goes to Donahue. Here comes the far post. Set. Got it for Brett Rutledge. Seidel on the serve. Shenzing down to Anita, set for Brandt. Off the block, North Greenville point.
The second set a little bit like the first set. North Greenville hanging right in there. They kind of lost it about midway. Let's hope they stay with it this time.
Brandt on the serve to Poole. Sideways swing and a point at all. That one with Alex Palmatier. It's right about when Mount Olive had a 3-point lead at 9-6. They hit the accelerator and didn't look back. Here comes McManaway. He spins it off the block. And North Greenville right now able to keep pace, trading points back and forth.
Good to see McManaway get that point.
Here he is on the serve. And here come the Trojans. And Kian Hollavoet gets it in for Mount Olive.
I thought McManaway might have some limited action with that shoulder taped up, upper arm, shoulder area, but it may just be for comfort or protection and not any serious injury.
Trojans back out to a 1-point lead, but North Greenville's been able to answer the call so far and bring it back to a tie. As it goes to Lawrence, off the block. And again, North Greenville continuing to keep pace. Back to serve. Here comes Mount Olive. Just a tapper over. And Palmatier gets that one down. Bounced off 2 North Greenville players, and nobody was waiting in backcourt to be the third, except for Brent, but he was too far away. Palmatier's got the serve. Brent gets underneath it. Shinzing running set. On the 10-foot line, Lawrence hits it over, but here come the Trojans. Off the block, and Poole gets it to go. Eight 6, Mount Olive with that magic 2-point lead. Palmatier's got the serve. Grant, Shinzing will set up Hamsho. And a big time block there by Andrew Sido. It's not often Hamsho gets blocked, but Sido answers the bell. And here we are again, 9-6, Mount Olive with a 3-point lead. Same song, second verse. This is where they hammered down last time. Here comes Hamsho. He's not going to let him do it though. I think he remembered that last play.
Yeah, I think during the next timeout, they're going to have to check that section of the floor for damage.
He might have put a pretty good dent in it. Lawrence has the serve. And boy, pinpointed that one right to the corner.
I wasn't going to jinx it earlier, but I've been watching, and there have been no service errors or aces until that ace.
Well, Lawrence pulls North Greenville back within 1. A lot of height underneath this ball.
I jinxed it. Yeah, there's the error. Yeah, I was holding off, and I was afraid to say anything until they got the ace. It's the way it usually goes.
Well, that puts Mount Olive back up to the 2-point advantage with Yesalonis on the serve. Here comes Campbell near post. Off the block, out of bounds. North Greenville still keeping pace, but still down by 1 point.
Got a short stoppage of play while the coach is asking a question, the FAR official.
I believe that is head coach from Mount Olive, David Heller. Here come the Trojans. Was there a touch? No touch called. Sidow smoked it out of bounds, and North Greenville brings it to a tie at 10. Here's Hamsho on the swing. Sidow gets that one in. Trim the net, hit the block, and gets it on the floor for a Mount Olive point. Mount Olive with the serve. Here comes North Greenville. Far side set for Brant. And ping-ponged around off McManaway. Mount Olive takes the point. I think that was Hollavoet. Poole on the serve to Lawrence. Here comes McManaway, high and out. no-touch call. Mount Olive stretches it back to a 3-point lead. Mount Olive continuing to spread the wealth as every Trojan who has seen the floor has scored except for the libero, Josh Donahue. Campbell off the near post, off the block, but Poole's waiting in backcourt at the net. Mount Olive goes far post, but blocked. Kyle Brandt got that one. Campbell high serve, but gets it down. Far post, Brandt again on the block, but it is out of bounds. Might be a little early, but Brandt has had 2 good blocks on that far post. Just one of them was on the wrong side of the line. A side out serves, Brandt hits it. McManaway gets a set, spins it off a defender's hands. Here come the Trojans again, how about that block? Hollaboet stuffed by McManaway and Shenzing getting up there as well. 14-12, Mount Olive still leads. Brandt trims the net, but it's handled by Hollaboet. Brandt reaches up for that shot from Rutledge, and it's out of the reach of Campbell, Mount Olive point. Rutledge has the serve, fires away and gets the ace. And that one, the only thing I can think to explain the way that one spun off Lawrence's hands is that had a ton of spin on it. And North Greenville takes their first time out for the set. Mount Olive with a 4-point lead, 16-12. Heading into the latter stages, Mount Olive looking to take 2. Send this one to a decisive for the Trojans' 3rd set. Brett Rutledge with 10 kills leads the way for the Trojans here on the North Greenville Sports Network. Mount Olive on the serve to get us underway after the Crusader timeout. McManaway trying to reverse the momentum. Looks good so far as the Trojans were able to get a dig, but it took a bad hop off the rafter. 16-13, Trojans with a 3-point lead. Here comes the Trojans, off the block, Hollaboet with the kill. Hollaboet, jump serve, Brandt to Hamsho to the net, and Campbell runs into the net trying to save it. Mount Olive pushes back out to a 5-point lead. Serve in from the Trojans. Here comes Hamsho, blocked, and off the hands of Dustin King for a Mount Olive point.
Little late in the second set now, but they are Trojans are hammered down again, just like they did in the first set. A little later, though, on this one.
Olivowicz's got the serve again. Brandt, Shinzing will set up far post for Lawrence, and he's blocked. But North Greenville recovers. They're blocked again at the net. A third chance, Lawrence off the block. And he got it in.
Well, they deserved that point after that fight back to save that ball. That was a good play by the Crusaders.
Shinzing with the serve. Line drive. Not quite the ace. And Mount Olive lost it in the rafters. And North Greenville takes 2 back.
Yeah, it's nice that the Crusaders have some friendly squirrels up there in the rafters that can direct that ball in different ways.
Shinzing has the serve again. To Donahue off the near post. Poole with the power. Past everybody for the Mount Olive point.
Just can't reiterate enough how good this Mount Olive team is. They're pretty good.
Poole has the serve to King. Shinzing will set up for Lawrence. Was there a touch? No touch called. Lawrence hits it high and out cross court. Trojans continue to extend their lead, 21-15. And North Greenville takes their second timeout for the set. So now North Greenville once again out of timeouts for the set. Mount Olive continuing to push their lead. For North Greenville, a lot of players with 3 kills. Lawrence, Brandt, Hamshaw, and McManaway, but nobody has more than 3.
Also, the service aces are tied at 3. UMO with 5 errors, and North Greenville with only 2, which is very good to see the Crusaders holding that stat down. Usually they're very high on the errors. They've obviously been working hard on getting the service errors down.
North Greenville try and turn things around quick. Mount Olive running in on a second set win as here comes Campbell. Locked off the far post. Mount Olive up 22-15. A little bit muggy here in the gym tonight, so having to take care of some moisture problems over there on the far side.
Yeah, I miss the Crusader moisture minders that are usually here cleaning up. They usually do a great job with the mops.
A little bit short-staffed tonight. As here Shinzing down to a knee, setting for Hamshaw. It's hit back over by the Trojans, but now Mount Olive can't get it to fall. King calls for it. Will go to Lawrence, blocked, and it gets down. .23-15. Not quite set point, but the Trojans can feel it. Sliding set by Shinzing. Great dig. Dead ball off the roof. North Greenville gets a little bit of help from above. .23-16. North Greenville fighting back in the second set. But Brett Rutledge with 10 kills, Robert Poole with another 5. Alex Palmatier with 4. Top 3 in kills for the Trojans. Poole might only have 5 kills, but he's got the arm to have a lot more than that. Waiting for the motion on the serve. Lawrence will have it. Got a good hand on it, but the Trojans on the attack. Dustin King with the dig. Here comes Campbell off the block. Set up by Yasalonis for Poole. And into the stands, 2 North Greenville players go. Good job by both Lawrence, Shinzing, and throwing Campbell. They're trying to rally that one back in, but the Trojans have set point 24-16. Yasalonis on the serve. Brandt pops it up. Shinzing looking for the set. Back to Brandt. Blocked by Seidel. And the Trojans have taken the first 2. First set, 25-17. Second set, 25-16. And so Mount Olive will look to end this one in 3 coming up here in just a few minutes as the Trojans continue to pour it on. The only conference game they have lost was to Barton. And take a look down the schedule. That one was a 5-setter. So that one went the distance. But Mount Olive trying to extend their lead over King. They look to push down the final straightaway in the men's volleyball season for the Conference Carolinas. Third set coming up. North Greenville down 2 sets. Here on the North Greenville Sports Network.
When you call me the champ of the world. I can raise my hands, I can scream like the best in the world. Of the world. On my best way, it's all for this time. It's not more. It's the goal that I have always dreamed of. When you call me the champ of the world. I can raise my hands, I can scream like the best in the world. Of the world. On my best way, it's all for this time.
And we're back for the third set between Mount Olive and North Greenville. The Trojans have taken the first 2. A score of 25-17 and then 25-16. Official just checking, making sure everybody who's supposed to be is on the floor. We'll line it up. Mount Olive drifting back to take the serve. Jeff Yasalonis. So the Trojan setter will get us underway. Brent Lawrence went down for it, spun it off his hands, and Mount Olive gets a good start with the ace. Mount
Olive now leads in the ace category 4-3.
And it looks like they've also taken care of their service error problem. They had a rash of that breakout in the first set, but they did a good job cleaning that up in the second. And so far so good here as we begin the third set. Big time deflection there by Campbell and Lawrence. Side out hits it over. King with the stop. Brandt gets a crack and won't get it past the blockers. Poole and side out. Mount Olive up 2-0.
Yeah, you mentioned the service errors. Mount Olive had 0, North Greenville with 1. So it was a very good second set.
Castellanos served from the start of the set. McManaway swats at it and will finally get a Crusader point. NGU on the board, down 2-1 here in the third set. Campbell, arcing serve, gets it in. Here comes side out, King with the dig. Shinzing looks Brandt's way, past the block, stopped by Donahue. Here comes Poole, and he's looking for a touch, doesn't get the call. North Greenville point. Campbell now has the serve for NGU. To Donahue. Castellanos will set up. No good there for Brad Monaghan. And Mount Olive will take the point. A double hit call against NGU. Unfortunately, I think they'll catch McManaway for the infraction. I don't think he expected the ball to come to him. Poole with the serve. Trims the net and he got it down. I didn't think that one was going to get over.
Yeah, it looks to me, Gray, like Mount Olive is, that they can smell the blood and the Crusaders are looking for the bandages.
4-2, Trojans up. Poole with another serve. Campbell gets this one, and it goes off the near post on the wrong side of it. Trojans take it again. Trojans with a solid .340 attack percentage, or hitting percentage. Oh, hold on, here comes the officials up to the stand. And they take the point off the board. So that one might have been a little too tough to call.
A do-over?
I think we have a do-over, and Poole smokes it out of bounds. NGU point.
I think he wants another do-over.
Poole was looking toward the official that time. I don't think the officials are going to stand for that if they catch him again. Trojans will take that point. Brad Monaghan just joined the Trojan lineup for this third set. Gets credit for that point. Trojans up 5-3. Side out on the serve for the Trojans. McManaway pops it up. Here comes Shinzing to Lawrence. And another Trojan block. That was Rutledge. We do have cards, yellow and red card in volleyball, but it's been so long since we've seen one of those come into play. And most of the time they're against the coaches. Shinzing on the set to Lawrence. Dug by the Trojans, and now Rutledge gets it down in front of Brandt. Trojans out to a 4-point lead, 7-3. Now a lot of problems in that right end of the court. Players having to do their own cleanup work tonight. Sideout has a serve from Mount Olive. Lob serve to Brandt. Shinzing looking for the set. McManaway. He corner pockets that one. His fifth kill. North Greenville pulls it back within 3. No wonder they're having some moisture problems on the floor. It's at 73 in here. Off the light fixture, Mount Olive can't play it. 7-5. I don't think Poole can protest the lighting in here.
No, I hit so hard it's still the light's still swinging.
Those are some of the new lights. They added in some new additions over the, I believe it was last spring when they redid the court floor here in Hayes. Be a shame to lose one of those so early. McMahon away. Hot hand on the serve. Hamshow with the two-handed slam back. And North Greenville's on a 3-0 run.
Can we record that one as a dunk? It looked like a basketball dunk that time.
I feel like we should. Just put a rim underneath where the net is. Mount Olive looking to stem the tide again. They will. Brett Rutledge puts it in the near corner pocket. Heard that called a joust a few times, and that was a joust.
And it's funny, the score is 8-6 at 6 minutes till 8.
Brandt with a diving save. Shenzing over to Campbell, past the block, and a Crusader point. All three sets have started the same way. North Greenville's been able to keep pace up until a certain point. First set it was 9-6. We're almost to that point. The second set it was about 13 or 14-10. So there's a point in the set where Mount Olive just goes all right. As boy, that one floated on Shenzing. And Mount Olive takes a point.
That serve never touched the floor. It completely went against the back wall.
So that's going to be the point when Mount Olive puts the pedal down here in this set. Monaghan on the set. Good dig, but not enough by Monaghan. North Greenville chipping away, but do they have enough to gain a foothold over the Trojans?
Crusaders got that point back. I'm sure the coach has told them that every service error you get gives the other team a point. You can't be giving these away. They're too precious.
Lawrence has the serve, and he bends it out cross court. Service error. Mount Olive takes 10-8 lead. Palmentier goes back for this serve. Brandt, Shenzing looking for the set. Here comes Campbell. He gets it down.
That was a good play. I don't recall hearing anybody holler Omaha, but it was a good play anyway.
I don't think it took as long to set that one up. Men's lacrosse. As Poole off the block, just barely off Campbell. 11-9. Now leads by 2. And North Greenville men's lacrosse apparently taking a page out of Peyton Manning's book. Shenzing looking for the set. Brandt gets it down. North Greenville starting to find a lot of gaps in the backcourt. And Brad Monaghan, the only Trojan back there, can't get to him in time.
Yeah, we probably should apologize for those that are watching just on volleyball, didn't follow us on the other sports programs. Sidell. The right hand gets it just on the right side, the far side baseline. If you're a fan of North Greenville Crusader sports, you're probably watching us on a lot of the sports broadcasts that we do. We're pleased to bring all the events to you.
Poole's got the serve. He took a little bit off the top on that one. Shenzing with a one-handed slam of his own. 12-11. Mount Olive only leads by 1. And number 6 for North Greenville, Jake Bulldog, will come in. He got a start in the last game we did against University of Charleston, West Virginia. Bulldog got a good serve. Trojans a side out over the block of McManaway, and they continue to keep pace with that 2-point lead.
Yeah, you mentioned Bulldog with that start. He actually played a very good game that game too.
Got a career high 7 kills. Here comes Lawrence on the swat. Is there a touch? Yes, touch call. Or no, they said that one just got down. Boy, Lawrence went cross court and barely caught a piece of the line. Lawrence going heavy on these cross court shots. Here's McManaway on the serve. To Poole. Yasalonis sets. And Rutledge bringing the firepower back. He's got 13 on the night. Boy, Britt Rutledge, 13 kills, 16 attacks. He's got, just before that one, he had a whopping .733 hitting percentage.
Yeah, and as a 6'6" junior, he'll be back.
To the net, off the dig, and Mount Olive point. 15-12. Mount Olive starting to look like they're in their late set form. Short serve, Campbell got to it just in time, spins off the top of the net and lands on the North Greenville side. Timeout, North Greenville, that's their first for this set. The timeouts haven't been as effective as they have been tonight, or in previous games.
I don't think Mount Olive has taken a single timeout tonight.
They haven't. They haven't. North Greenville's used so far, all of their 5 of their 6 timeouts that they've been allotted. They still have 1 more to go. Mount Olive coming in with a 5-game win streak into the night, and they're looking pretty good to continue that. 8-3 on the road, and only 1 of those was a conference loss, or they've only had 1 conference loss.
We'd like to take this opportunity to thank our viewers and listeners on the North Greenville Sports Network. It's our goal to bring you all the action and commentary in a fair and impartial way, and we'd like to highlight the positive in both teams, and we hope we've done that for you tonight. We invite you to feel free to invite friends and family to join us, and to contact the North Greenville University Administrative Office if you have any questions or suggestions. Remember, you can message us on Ustream, and if we get a chance, we will respond. Please enjoy tonight's action on the North Greenville Sports Network.
So Mount Olive in single digits to try and wrap this set up and get out of here with a win. Brent Rutledge will start us off the North Greenville timeout. Shinzing set up Lawrence. And North Greenville takes a point coming off a timeout. Lawrence, his 6th kill on 15 attacks. As Shinzing will serve in. Here come the Trojans. Near post. Bulldog with the dig against Rutledge, and Shinzing hits it over, and then it's hit out by Palmatier, who got a little antsy at the net.
Yeah, Coach Battenfield very pleased with that play. A good hustle.
Greenville's back to within 2. Shinzing, 2nd straight serve. Yasalonis will set up for Rutledge again. Off the hand of King, and out of reach. Monaghan has the serve. Running set by Shinzing for Lawrence. Mount Olive reached up for it. And Palmatier hits it over. Lawrence again, blocked, out of bounds, and a North Greenville point. North Greenville's been able to keep Mount Olive from getting too far ahead, but the Trojans, they've been happy to trade back and forth this 2 3-point lead. Lawrence has a serve to the net. Here comes Rutledge. Shenzing with a whale of a dig. The Trojans looking to rally back. Here comes Rutledge again. Early whistle. Point Trojans. Could only think that'd be a blocking error against NGU. Mount still leads. Here comes Bulldog, and he gets the point.
Yeah, the referee's actually called a carry that time on Mount Olive.
And here's number 7, Silas Jenkins, who will come in. Yasalonis will set up for Poole. Lawrence able to dig it. And Bulldog near post again. Right to Donahue. Yasalonis will set up Rutledge from the 10-foot line. Off the block, so touch called. And Mount Olive sits at a 19-16 lead. Up by 3.
Timeout, Crusaders.
North Greenville burns their last timeout for the set. Trying to work a little bit of strategy late in the third set.
I think we're too far from Christmas for Mount Olive to donate a couple of their timeouts to North Greenville, but they'd love to have a couple more, I think, before this is over.
Mount Olive talked about their offense coming in. They have picked up 10 blocks already.
And it looks like Mount Olive is going to go ahead and load their 6 timeouts on the bus, just take them back home with them. Maybe use them next game.
I don't see a reason to call one now unless North Greenville goes on a, I'd say maybe a 4 or 5 point run. Because Mount Olive hasn't been down by much, if any, throughout the match. Trojans to look to close this one out. Here's Jeff Yasalonis on the serve to Lawrence. Shenzing will set up Campbell. Yasalonis with the dig. He's been the man to do that as here comes Poole. King off the pole, and it's a Trojan point. Now Coach Banfield can't help his guys out anymore. Both timeouts have been expended. Yasalonis to serve again. Lawrence looking to Shenzing, McManaway. Yasalonis has been in his way all night. Swatted at and dropped in the corner by Rutledge. It's a tough task, but Rutledge, if he gets these last 4 kills for Mount Olive, he'll have 20 kills for the match. Shenzing going for the set or tip over, and he gets it.
Crusaders not going away easily. Stay in this one as long as they can. 21-17. Still time to pull this back.
Campbell go back to serve. Mount Olive having some floor trouble at their end.
Maybe Nike should develop some shoes that have moisture absorbents on the soles.
Well, I think more importantly, we should have our self-lacing sneakers by now. I mean, we're past October 21st, 2015. Bulldog on the swat, dug by Donahue. And Rutledge again. Well, there's Rutledge. He's got one, he got another one. Had to squeeze in the Back to the Future reference there.
All right, and you thought NBC was the only one with 2020.
Yeah, yep. Poole to the serve for King. Shenzing over to Bulldog. Tipped up off the block. Rutledge off the pipe. And North Greenville will take a point. That one little, I think it runs to the air conditioning, the one little pipe right over the net. Bulldog on the serve. Line drive, recovered by the Trojans. Here comes Rutledge, off the block. Shinzing will set up, give it to King. Lawrence, North Greenville starting to fight back. Trojans coach David Heller not showing any urgency. Mount Olive, 22-19, they lead it. North Greenville on a quick 2-0 run. Bulldog, great serve again. Near post set, Rutledge, and he'll get another one. Rutledge, that should be his 18th. They didn't credit that 21st point to him. Maybe they just haven't updated yet. Seidel floats the serve out of bounds. North Greenville has surpassed their set high for this match. They scored 17 back in the first. They're at 20 here. As McManaway serves in. Deslos will set up for Monaghan, who gets it. Well, I don't think with that, Rutledge shouldn't be able to reach 20, but I'm sure he'll be happy with a win here as Mount Olive will have match point 24-20. And he smokes it out. Service error against the Trojans, first one in quite some time against Brett Rutledge. So North Greenville still with a little bit of life. Yeah,
maybe the Crusaders will take this overtime and Rutledge can do something to get those kills.
Shinzing on the serve, popped up by Rutledge. Josselus will set up Monaghan, bounces off a wholesale change of the Crusaders. Bulldog to the net. Still nothing yet. Campbell gets the set, blocked, and it falls to the floor in front of Lawrence. Game, set, match for Mount Olive as they take the third set 25-21. So another conference sweep for the Trojans. They will improve to 15-6, 13-1 overall. North Greenville 7-14, and they fall below 500 in the conference to 6-7. So time to announce our Moe's of Greer player of the game. Mount Olive as a team finishes with 11 blocks. But Dave, who had the individual performance out there?
Yeah, Rutledge. I got to vote for Rutledge. You called his name all night. He was just domineering.
Yeah, he only had 17 kills on 24 attacks,
yeah.
A 667 hitting percentage, 1 assist, 5 digs, and 4 assisted blocks.
And he would probably tell you it was an off night.
I feel like he probably would. I just didn't do my best out there tonight.
Yeah,
he had 17 kills.
Yeah, with that performance tonight, I believe Mose would actually name a burrito after him.
The Brett Rutledge Moe's of Greer player of the game, an astounding performance for Mount Olive as they jump ahead of King by 2 games. So the Trojans try and keep it up, try to be that #1 seed in the Conference Carolinas tournament. So we thank you for joining us here for men's volleyball on the North Greenville Sports Network. Tomorrow, should the weather hold off, no sun's moving in, we'll have a softball doubleheader tomorrow against Limestone for North Greenville. So for myself, Gray Sutherland, for Dave Parson, for Alan Cahaley, this has been the North Greenville Sports Network.